Did you know that a famous experiment showed 37's group pressure can tip a crowd to believe a completely made-up idea? Think about it. Just a few loud voices, even robot ones, can hijack a group's opinion. Zoe, are we actually steering our own thoughts or just following the crowd?
No way! It's like our brains have a groupthink jeeps guiding us without asking. In fact, research from Berkeley found that as groups get larger, people's answers converge on just a few popular ideas. It's shocking, but true. Big groups tend to echo each other.
So, what if I said your news feed and social circle might be autopiloting your beliefs? Stick around. By the end of this episode, you'll learn how to spot when that G-Pace kicks in, and most importantly, how to switch back to you. And trust me, it's simpler than programming your phone's maps. Remember that team project in school where everyone accidentally agreed on the same idea? That was groupthink in action. Psychologist Irving Janis found that when groups really want to agree, they tune out dissent. Basically, they minimize conflict at all costs.
Right. I learned about groupthink recently. It's when harmony becomes more important than thinking. People don't want to rock the boat, so they quietly agree even if they doubt the idea. It's like shouting plot twist in a thriller movie and getting shushed. I actually remember a time I kept quiet in a meeting because everyone else was nodding. Later, I realized I didn't even agree.
Exactly. Janice listed clues. In a super tight team, even silence looks like consent. We might think, wow, everybody's on board, but really, no one dared to disagree. It's like thinking the Wi-Fi password is correct because everyone's saying it is.
Hi! And just because most people click like on a post or nod in a meeting, that doesn't make it right. Studies show large groups actually settle on a handful of ideas very predictably. For example, in one experiment, people described inkplots. Small teams gave all kinds of answers, but huge online groups all landed on the same few categories. But
that means the crowd's echo can drown out your unique take. We shared stories of mumble, your opinion, and later realize we felt differently.
To recap, groupthink happens when we value agreement over honesty. In big groups, we tend to echo a few popular ideas, even if that's not what we truly think.
Next up, we'll dive into social media and those echo chambers, because our phones are mastering the groupthink jeeps too. Ever notice how you end up seeing the same stories and opinions online? That's not an accident. Algorithms learn what you like, then feed it to you, and guess what? If lots of people in your bubble believe something, poof, you see it everywhere. It's like your phone says keep going in this direction. Zoe, yeah? And studies back this, one Oxford. The result, if you hang out in a room where everyone's talking about the same thing online, your opinion jeep starts dragging you to the same destination. In fact, 9 out of 10 people in places like the UK, Australia, or the USA, social media makes people easier to manipulate with false info. 9 out of 10. That's crazy high.
I remember that viral story about a pill that cures cancer. It was fake, of course. When all my friends shared it, I believed it for a moment too, even though it sounded too good to be true. We just knew it was right because everyone else did.
Exactly. It's not your fault. It's wired in. In social media terms, if enough bots and people push an idea, it gets momentum. The Berkeley study even used bots to inject sumo wrestler into a Rorschach test, and once about 37 of the network favored it, the human participants adopted. Suddenly a picture looked like a sumo wrestler to everyone, when nobody saw it, but it was sumo wrestler to...
Wild. It shows how an idea gets trending power. Something repeated looks true. Political slogans, fake news battles, these are categories created and won by group consensus over time.
To recap, our social feeds create invisible chambers of agreement. People naturally follow like-minded accounts, and algorithms amplify what's already popular. Even false stories go viral if enough people or bots push them.
Coming up, real stories of how everyday folks got pulled in by the crowd and how they snapped out of it. Let me tell you about a road trip I took last year. I was driving across state lines with friends, and we got into this music debate. Every radio station was blasting the same new pop song, so I thought, wow, maybe it's really a masterpiece. I started singing along and bragging about lyrics until a friend said, we hate pop. Suddenly I realized I didn't even like the song. I just said,
That's a classic case. The crowd was swaying you. Pun intended. I have one too. In college, everyone was certain one political candidate was the obvious winner. We all parroted the same talking points. Even though by midterms I had doubts, I kept quiet because everybody's smart friend, it must be right. Guess what? I end up the only one who mentioned that Major T turned out wrong. A one who mentioned that...
These stories sound small, but groupthink happens in big events too. Think Bay of Pigs fiasco or corporate blunders. History is full of people giving a thumbs up when they really meant stop.
The key is recognizing your voice. Just because all your friends use a filter on Instagram or your co-workers agree on one idea in a meeting doesn't mean you're on the right track. Sometimes being different in the right way is actually the healthy thing. Remember, those kink blot experiments showed small groups had more unique answers. Diversity of thought matters.
Summary. We all have those moments, in the car, on social media, or at work, where we nod along just to fit in. The more people around us agree, the more we hesitate to speak up. But deep down, that little voice is yours. Next, we'll learn how to empower it. One tip I use. Before deciding or posting something, I ask, why would someone disagree? And what's the evidence? If we each take a moment to fact, check and reflect, it breaks the echo. For example, next time you read a viral claim, Google it or see if a fact, check site has it. By pausing, you regain control of your opinion.
And don't underestimate small actions. Talk to a friend who thinks differently just for the fun of debate. Or play devil's advocate in group chats. Challenge that obvious answer. The literature on preventing groupthink literally suggests appointing an official devil's advocate to question every idea. Of course, do it kindly.
Also, it helps to take breaks from the hive mind. Step away from group chats or forums and spend time thinking alone or doing something you enjoy that clears your head. Athletes and writers often say their best ideas come outside the arena. Giving yourself space stops the autosign.
Last piece. Recap time. Combat groupthink by embracing individuality. Encourage debate, fact-check popular claims, and remember, it's okay to say I don't know or I think differently. Your unique perspective is valuable. When we value curiosity over comfort, our opinion jeeps routes from autopilot to manual.
We hope you enjoyed this mental adventure. If this episode helped you question the crowd and trust your own mind, hit like and subscribe. Share it with friends who need a little independence too.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Remember, steer your own journey, question the map, and happy thinking.